Hi there, guys. Um, this next video, I really wanted to use today to kind of catch up on all of the things that Spirit has been telling me and so forth, and to go ahead and make these videos today. And something is crazy because something always comes up, or just something when I have this type of energy on me where I want to go ahead and really try to get stuff done and accomplished, especially where my videos are concerned, because it's some really good, helpful things that I think will help a lot of women. Right now, and I hope you guys can see that because I know a lot of times seem like my videos come out a little kind of not too clear. But right now, the house is a bit smoky. And it's because I left something on the stove for a long while. And so I'm really trying to get smoke out of the house, and I'm trying to keep and protect my eyes because my eyes are burning right now. But I need to do this. I need to go ahead and get this out, and I'm not going to let nothing stop me. I'm at least do this one video. Um, but now there is I got another video that I really wanted to try to talk about today, and hopefully, if I can get all this smoke out of here and really be able to get this video out, I will make it. But for now, this right here is something that Spirit gave me um, wee hours of the morning this morning, very profound. I think it was a message to me, but I'm going to make this a message for other women, single women, because it's distinctly a message for single women. Because I think a lot of us fall into a certain pattern where we continue to make the same mistakes once we get in that single state. And I know it will help me. I'm gonna keep it as a reminder. Um, and let me just go ahead and get into it because you'll see and understand why I'm saying what I'm saying um, as far as helping. So um, it probably should be numbered, but I'm just going to give it the way that I got it in my spirit. Now, I wrote it in first person because, as I say, it was a message to me from spirit. I want to share it with you guys because I know it'll be a help to many of you who are on this level and ready for it. Um, so I'm gonna give a tad bit of background. Um, there is a person who is in my life, who we have been, I don't even really want to say together for 2 years because it's not really a relationship like that. It's really, we just kind of come together. It's pretty much just a sexual relationship. That ain't to say that we don't care about each other or anything like that. It just really has not gone any further than that. Um, at the end of the day, I don't really think I want it to go further than that, really, just because of a few of the dynamics in the relationship. Ain't nobody married, nothing like that. Ain't nothing like that. Just get that out the way. But anyway, at the end of the day, I was talking, which I really have never even really brought him up a lot to people. Um, and so anyway, I was talking to my friend about it because we had a little time this weekend past, and um, we were just talking about. things that, like I said, I don't even share. I really just keep things to myself because we're not in a like active relationship like that. So, um, but the subject of food and eating came up. And so, um, she admittedly, she is not where I am as far as men and relationships and things like that. She's still in a very toxic relationship. And so, just there's that. So, um, she was telling me something about, well, why don't you cook for him? Why don't you, why you don't, why don't you cook him a meal and invite him over and y'all, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which is not that, once again, that's not a level that we have even gotten to in the past couple of years. We haven't even got there. Like, we have not done that. I think I offered him some coffee, but he didn't. I wound up drinking the coffee. So, with that being the case, um, uh, we, I thought about that, thought about what she said, and um, I was going into more depth in my own mind of thinking about that, and if I did that and what would it entail and so forth, and how would that change things and everything. And at the end of the day, without going too much into that, but at the end of the day, doing that and beginning that level of a relationship, changing it, is at the end of the day going to put me in a situation that I don't want to be in at the end of the day. It's going to cause a chain of effects that um, I'm not, I don't think I want to deal with. I'm going to pause the video one moment. So, guys, with that being the case, it's not something that it's not that's something that's going to change the whole dynamic of the relationship as it stands, and I'm not willing to do that. I don't want that. I think it's going to change it too much to where eventually I'm not going to be happy. Okay? So, um with all that being said, I start thinking about being single and thinking about why I'm single and why I'm okay with that and why I'm happy with that. And, you know, um, so here's what came about. And I'm going to um, just bear with me because, like I say, I wrote it came to me in first person. And so I am going to try to read this in a way where it can include all women. And so it says here that I'm not single for the opportunity to bring someone into my life. And I want to talk about just that part of it for a moment because a lot of times being single, first of all, being single has so many negative connotations to it, period, just period. Um, then being a single woman has another whole set of its own negative dynamics and always have. People have always looked at single women as unworthy, unwanted, lonely, don't have a man, can't get a man. There are just so many negative connotations to a woman being single that I think are slowly changing. I think they are a lot now is beginning to be revealed about just how not bad being single is, especially for women. You know, a lot of platforms now are really bringing to light the unhappiness of married women, and the burdensomeness of being a married woman, you know. And I can also speak to that because I have been married more than once. But this is not that show. This is not that day for me to talk about that. But I'm not single for the opportunity to bring someone into my life. That right there, like I say, just because of the negative connotations of being single and being a single woman, um, a lot of times we do kind of sit in that type of mindset that I'm single and waiting for somebody to come into my life and make me okay, or make me unsingle, you know. And once again, it's because of that negative connotation that goes along with being single, and especially being a single woman. um so that's the point right there. I'm not single for the opportunity to bring someone into my life. I'm single to give myself the opportunity to do for myself, to love me as I have loved and given myself so um so freely to others all these years, um and to give myself that love that I have for so long been giving to other people. And I think that's not just a me thing. I think that's a woman thing. I really think that has so much to do with being a woman, being a nurturer, being a giver, being a caregiver by nature. Um, giving. There's so many women um, in life right now that give in their lives, that give and have given so much of themselves. And this ain't just no black woman thing. This is a woman thing, period. Women just give. Women sacrifice for their families, for their careers. I mean, women just sacrifice. Um, and so one aspect of looking positively on being single is that you're not waiting around for an opportunity for somebody to come into your life. Like, that's not why I'm sitting up here single. Um, it gives me the opportunity, like I say, to self love, to give myself those things finally that I have been giving and sacrificing for others all these years. And that is love, that's time, that's dedication, that's energy, that is sweeping, that's mopping, that's food, that's cooking, that's all of that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Let me go on. I'm not single to offer someone else a chance to be with me. That's another way that we look at being single. Like, I'm just sitting around just waiting for somebody to come into my life. I'm just sitting around waiting for, to be a better person so that I could be a better giver to somebody else whenever they do come into my life. No, no, that's not it. Um, I'm single to have the time to travel and explore this life, and to feel and see and to be and move around and do those things that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So many times women spend so many years giving of themselves and helping others and raising others and living for others and doing for others, that we don't ever really take the time. And when we do take the time, or even feel like we want to take the time or think about taking the time, we feel guilt. We feel guilt because Many times there are people in our lives, oh, well, girl, you can't do such and such. You a mom and you a so and so. And girl, well, how you going to do this when you got a so and so, so? And I mean, there's so many voices out there to try to make women feel guilty for doing things for themselves. And when you're single, that is the time to do those things for yourself because you don't have nobody in your life. You don't have, you know, you don't have any you don't have any obligations to other people to keep living and doing for them. You're at a state and a time where you freely, without guilt, shame, or explanation to anybody, do for yourself and go and travel and live and be and see and explore. I mean, really, and without guilt. Seriously, that is what this time is for. Um, I don't know if I want to go into. I was going to give an example. I don't know if I want to go into. I'll go into it briefly and then I'll finish. Um, there was a time when my daughter, was going through her rebellious stage, and I was so stressed out, so upset, so crying, so everything, so about to lose my mind, so about to pull my hair out, just all of this. And I remember I even had a guy that I was talking to basically tell me, and it was the craziest. I ain't never been told this by, especially by a guy. But this guy actually told me because I was talking to him because I was in a situation where I didn't know where my daughter was. I couldn't find her. She was purposely not telling me where she was. I knew for the most part she was okay. She was just out there with her friends, just doing her thing and doing what she wanted to do. And like I said, I didn't know where she was. And so, of course, I was worried about her. And when your child is going through this rebellious stuff, and when you're dealing with all of this stuff and stuff, there's levels to it. Like you don't just get okay with that. Like it's levels to dealing with this. It's levels of anger, levels of healing, levels of crying, I mean, it's levels to it. So the level that I was at with that was that I'm still a woman. I still needed comfort. This was not. This was a completely non-sexual situation. This was really just talking and companionship and somebody to help me reason and help me to get my mind right and get my thoughts right and just sharing and things like this. And so this guy really basically told me that I needed to get off on the phone with him and go find my daughter. I was like, damn, like, wow, that was really. Then I remember I had another lady who told me I was, some kind of way we were talking about everything. And I was telling her about how I didn't think that it was wrong for me to have or want some type of relationship that I could share with people. Share this, what I'm going through with people. Not, I wasn't necessarily for no man to go have sex. And I like, women can find that anywhere at any time, really, honestly, seriously. So it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that, yeah, my daughter's going through all this BS and putting me through all this BS. And I would like to have another adult, another person in my life to talk to maybe get a hug from, to release to, you know what I'm saying? And because just the way things are, a lot of times, and I hope that it changes, but right now, as it stands, a lot of times women don't have a whole community of other women to go to and talk to and get comfort from and things like this. And so, and despite that, even if she does, sometimes you just want a male voice, like you want a male's energy and insight on the subject. You need that other side of it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really all it was. But that particular lady, even then, told me, "Oh, well, I don't really think you need to be worrying about no relationship or having someone in your life. I think you need to be worrying about your daughter." And I get that to an extent, but my thing was all I do is worry about my daughter. Like, I don't get a break from worrying about my daughter. Like, that is what has filled my existence for the last 2, 3, 4 years. Like, that is the thing that has, that is why I need an outlet, because all I do is focus on my daughter. So I don't see anything wrong with doing something outside of that. You know what I'm saying? So that is the situation that I found myself in. And, you know, so many times women do that. So many times women involve themselves, and that's not the word I'm looking for. Overwhelm themselves with everything and everybody else, and don't give themselves that self-love, self-care. But like, many times you can't even find it out there. Like, take for example that guy. Like, who tells a woman some shit like that? You need to get off the phone with me and go find your daughter. Like, I'm trying to get comfort from you. I'm trying to get some advice from you. I'm trying, like, we weren't even in the same state. So this is what I'm telling you. It wasn't a sexual thing. Like, I'm quite sure if we were in that kind of situation and he had access to me, he wouldn't have been saying no shit like that, because he'd been trying to get some ass. So yeah, but because I'm reaching for you for a deeper outlet, you're gonna tell me something like that. Like, okay, I got you. And we didn't talk much longer because I took his advice. But we as women, that is what we do. That is what we do. And we have to use these times and moments of being single to give ourselves back that love and that time, and not feel bad and guilty about it. It's nothing wrong with you as a woman needing emotional support. And that's what I needed. That's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking to get banged. I wasn't looking to get my back blown out. I was looking for emotional support because I was going through hell with my daughter. Absolute hell. So, um, next point. I'm not single to have someone in my life necessarily just to talk to. I'm single to have an opportunity to express my own needs, wants, and desires, and even my own fantasies. Like, being single is a time for you to go out with no judgment and do whatever the hell you want to do. Why? Because men do it all the time. Men will get up and go and do and explore and be and whatever else, whatever the hell they want to, and don't you even think about judging them. Don't, matter of fact, most of them won't even talk to you about the stuff that they do on their own and in their own time. That's why so much stuff happens, you know, where, women don't know what's going on because men out here on some whole other shit, doing all kinds of stuff. And most women really just want to feel free to be able to explore and do things that they want to do. A lot of women are so afraid even to fulfill those fantasies, even to think about those fantasies. And I'm not just talking about sex. A lot of times it is sexual, because a lot of times, once again, women are so oppressed sexually that women feel a whole lot of guilt for wanting to go out and be free and do things that they have thought about and wanted to do and whatever. And they have the time, energy, and opportunity to do it, but their mind and other people will talk them out of it and make them feel guilty, like, oh, you're bad. You really, you would want to do. I mean, it's the guilt for me. Like, Shit, like y'all don't judge men like that. I'm not gonna kill nobody. I'm not gonna hurt nobody. I'm not gonna take nothing from nobody. Why can't I go out and explore? And I think like I say, I think we're at a time right now where women are beginning to understand and open up to those possibilities that it's nothing wrong with you for wanting to do more, to be more, you know, to find out who you really are. Sometimes you don't even know who you really, really are until you get out the boat and actually start doing other things. So many times when you're confined, when you're in a box, when you're in a neighborhood, when you're in a city, when you're in around certain people, you're stuck there. You do what they do. You do what you've always done. And you don't understand and have an opportunity to explore freedom until you get out of that box and away from those people and from away from the judgment, away from, oh, we don't do that, girl, we don't do that, in this family, girl, we don't be so, you know okay. Get up, go out and live. And being single is that opportunity for you to do that. It's not an opportunity for you to have to sit around and wait for somebody to come into your life and give it meaning. Give your own life meaning. Give your own self meaning. Get up, go out, explore, do, be, see, feel, with no guilt. I think I'm coming to the end of this. Um, I'm single to live and explore me. That's what I've said. It's an opportunity to love me in my own fullness. And one way of learning to love yourself and be free with yourself is exploring, is going out doing new things, is trying new stuff, is getting out of that box that so many people have put you in and doing and being. That's been one of the big things in my life, is that I have always felt so judged and so put in a box by people because they always thought I was some kind of way. From where I come from, to how I look, to how I sound, to how I present myself, to all of that, people would just not believe that I would want to go and do such and such. Or I actually have thoughts in my head to do something outside of what they think I should do, you know? That's why so much of my life, I think I felt like people didn't know me or understand me, because I've always been boxed. I've always been boxed. And most of the time, it wasn't never me. Most of the time, it was me trying to put myself in that box that they wanted me to be in, or they thought that I should be in, or whatever, to appease them and to make them happy. And I don't want to live in a box no more. I don't want to do that no more. I want to be me. I want to be free. I want to explore. I want to go. I want to do. Um, yeah. And it's nothing wrong with any of that. Nothing at all. It's my free time to be alone, to enjoy myself, my time alone, and not feel guilty about it, not feel guilty about not wanting to be around people, not wanting to get phone calls, not wanting to see people. I don't want to feel guilty about that. Why should I feel guilty about that? Because here it is, at the end of the day, most people don't feel bad about treating you like shit. Most people don't feel bad about not taking your phone calls. Most people don't feel bad about not being there for you, no matter how many times you've been there for them. Most people are very, very selfish. And so, yeah, they expect you to be there. They expect you to when they call, you answer. When they come to your house, you there. You open up the door. When they come, you need to do this, be this, put on this, and whatever. And but when you want that from them or need that from them, they might even know you need it, and they still ain't gonna give you nothing. They still ain't gonna do it. Why? Because they don't want to. That's their right. That's how they feel about it. And once again, so many times we as women, we accept that and we allow that, and we don't fight them for that, and that's fine. But when you're single and when you have those opportunities and those chances and that money of your own and the time of your own, you better go live your life and you better go and do things and explore and see places and do things that you want to do for yourself and don't feel bad about it. Matter of fact, if you think people gonna make you feel bad about it, don't tell them. Don't tell them. You don't have to share everything with everybody. That's another thing that we as women, you don't have to share any damn thing. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe anybody no explanations. These are things that I had to learn. So big on explaining myself. So big on explaining myself all my life. And I have finally gotten to the point to where I can hear that little voice in my head telling me, you don't owe them an explanation for nothing. They don't understand. Oh, well, maybe you don't need to understand. Maybe this was about me and not you, and I don't owe you nothing. Um, it's my free time to be alone, enjoy myself, my time alone, the things I decide that I want to do to make myself happy without the opinions of anyone else, is what we just talked about, or what they think I should be, because it's not gonna um Oh, without worrying about other people's opinions, because other people's opinions are not going to benefit me. Other people's opinions and what they think and feel about it is going to be in their best interest. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they're thinking on behalf of how what you do affects them. Many times people think that way. Oh, well, if you do this, then how that gonna affect me? If you do this, then I ain't gonna have nobody to talk to. If you change your position, if I don't have access to you anymore, then what's that gonna do for my life? I don't know what that's gonna do for your life, but I know what it's gonna do for my life. And at this point in my life, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So many women are sick, sick, sick. I mean, physically sick, because they continue to put everybody else needs, desires, and wants and opinions and everything else above their own and feel like everybody else is more important than them. And they're sick from it. By the time women start getting in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and I mean, many women are sick. And they're also sick because once again, they've spent their life taking care of everybody else and not themselves. I'm gonna throw this in real quick. This wasn't even a part of this video, but I'm gonna throw this in real quick. I don't know if I would have needed to have a hysterectomy a few years ago if I had been taking care of myself after I met my, I'm gonna still say ex, because there's some things that's really going on right now that I need to tell y'all about, but I'm not able to at the moment. But anyway, my ex. If I had been taking care of myself like I had been before I met him, going to the doctor yearly, getting checkups, doing everything I was supposed to be doing for myself, being a lot more healthy, a lot more conscious of my own well-being. But when I met him and he was sickly and all this stuff and just continued to get sicker and sicker and sicker, I poured everything into him. I absolutely neglected myself for him and his well being and him being better and well and whole and healed and everything. And I did that and I got him to that place. But I neglected myself. I hadn't gone to the doctor in years. And as a result, I had humongous fibroids inside of me that I had to get a hysterectomy. You know, it was making me physically sick and ill carrying those around inside of me and the effect that they were having on my life and my body, um, which, I mostly talk to women on this channel, so, this is a woman's issue. But at the end of the day, I was having horribly heavy menstrual cycles, like horribly heavy, very painful, very painful. And I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. Then on top of that, I was anemic. I already knew, had a strong inkling that I was already anemic anyway. And then every month losing all of that blood like that, I was sick. Like I was sick to where I had to get a total of 3 blood transfusions in 2 years. That's how sick I was. I mean, so sick to when I finally had to wind up getting those last 2 blood transfusions. I literally had to get somebody, and I might have shared this with you guys, I don't know, to go and get my neighbor next door to actually take me to the hospital because I felt myself slipping. Like I literally felt myself slipping away. And the hospital, the doctor, this lady, I remember her standing, she was talking to me and everything. And this lady she's kind of like stood outside the door because she was like, I'm gonna be right back, whatever. But this lady was absolutely looking at me with this serious look. Like she literally told me, like, I don't even know how you got in here. Like, I don't, somebody in your condition of how low your blood is should have came in here on a stretcher. That's how low my blood level was. Um, and she was like, like, how do you function? Like, are you like this all the time? Like, how do you? And I told him, like, yeah, like, she's like, you shouldn't even be up talking and looking at me right now. And I told her, I say, like, I honestly feel like this all the time. I've been feeling like this for a long time. I just keep pushing through because my husband needs me. I got a daughter, she's young, very young at that time. And I'm like, I just got to keep pushing. And this woman literally looked at me and shook her head like, I don't know how, but we're going to help. That's how bad I was. That is how bad and neglectful I had gotten to myself, to myself. So, and many women do it. I'm not saying this to make myself any kind of heroine, hero, chiro. What I'm telling you, what I know about women and women's nature. Um, but being single, yeah, it's not going to be in my best interest at the end of the day, or yours. It's going to put me back, being in that situation is going to put me back into a position of taking care of someone and catering to them when I start not considering myself and doing things for other people's self-interest. And people will let you do that. My life is not for that anymore. It is to please me right now and to focus on myself. That's what it's for, not other people or their self-interest. Um, Getting toward the end of this. Now, here's the thing. Now, getting back real quick to um, the situation of the guy that I was telling you in the beginning that is in my life, and talking to my friend about him, and her telling me to, oh, well, why don't you cook him some food, and why don't you blah blah blah, and why don't you do this. And because, like I say, that's just not the dynamic of our relationship. And it's been okay for 2 years, so um but I thought about that and what she said and everything. And I thought about the fact that if I do that and start doing that and start living in my natural nature of being a caretaker and taking care of people and wanting to feed people, want people to enjoy my food and all those things, because I do have that desire. I really do. That's still me. And I could easily do that for him. But that's going to change the dynamic of our relationship. And I have to look at the fact, do I want that? You know, if he starts expecting me to cook for him, if he start asking me to cook for him, if he start asking to come over more, and I mean, that's going to start changing stuff. Like it really is. It's going to start changing. It's going to put me back in a situation of where I've already gotten myself out of and where I don't want to feel tied down to anymore. I don't want to be tied down to that. If I want to cook for you or for anybody, then I will. Like at this point in my life right now, because I'm almost like in a way, let me put it like this because I don't want to, I don't want to tell too much of my business. I'm in a situation where now where it's just me and my daughter. I'll just put it like that. And so my daughter didn't have many needs anymore because she's about to be 18. She's working, she's doing her own thing. She's living her life. And so I don't have to do those things anymore as a mom and wife that I had to do many years ago. So I have a lot of free time right now, like a lot. And then also, with my recent hand surgery that you all know that I had, you know, I'm still recovering from that. My hand is still quite weak, and I'm still, going to occupational therapy and everything to get that together. Um, but it still causes me to like I'm not working. So I got a lot of free time, as I said, right now. So, I don't know what my cat looking at, but anyway, so one of the solutions to that is to find ways to meet the needs to be a caregiver or to give. I'm going to pause the video real quick again. Okay, guys. So, find ways. Here, here, here is, um, here is right now the answer for a lot of women to take care of that caregiving, um, caregiving need that so many of us have and operate in. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that women are natural nurturers. That's what we do. Right now, there's so many women who are on this my time, me, my life, self-love journey right now, as they should be. But they still have an innate need as a woman to give and to share and to do and to all these things. Like just really simply with me, I keep a desire to want to cook. Like I love to cook. I love to cook for people. I love for people to taste my food and enjoy my food. And I love cooking big meals. I mean, I haven't been married in a while, and I have not had like family, everybody around and all that stuff for a long time. But I still today have a hard time cooking small. Like I still cook big, way too big, way too big for me right now because literally it is right now kind of just me and the cat. So a lot of times I don't even cook those big meals or like it's stuff that I want to have and to eat, but it's too much. Like I can't cook no chicken and greens and okra and some cornbread and and some sweet potatoes and many times I'll be wanting a big old down home southern meal, but it ain't nobody but me. So I might as well just go in there and make myself a salad, which I do a lot. But I still have that need to want to do. And like I say, being a natural caregiver, I know that's who I am. But at the same time, I don't want Like what my friend said, start cooking this guy meals and start. I don't want to do that to fulfill that need of cooking and enjoying somebody enjoying my food and all this stuff because I'm sure he would enjoy himself. But I don't want to change the dynamic of the relationship that I have. And I don't want to put myself into a situation again where I got people expecting stuff. Does that make any sense? So, to combat that need of being a caretaker and doing for others and being for others and everything, there's so many things that women can do. We can volunteer. There's so many homeless organizations that we can go and cook for and help out with and give to. And there are I mean there's children who need. There are younger people who need. Like whatever your demographic is, go find whatever it is you like to do and give and be and fulfill that in your within yourself. Give it to others through organizations and through helping others and volunteering instead of always sitting around and waiting for a man to come into your life to cook for, to give for, to clean for, to just waiting for a man to give your life purpose. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, you do that and get those parts of you fulfilled. But then you got somebody who gonna start coming here waiting, expecting for you to, where my food at? I just came in from work. I can't get no full meal. I know y'all saw that video. There was an old video where this dude was in there basically badgering his wife in a clean ass kitchen. So I know she cleaned the house. But badgering this one, well, I just worked 12, 13 hours. You mean tell me I can't come in and get a full course meal and I can't get, and I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to deal. I don't want you expecting anything from me at this point in my life. I don't want you expecting anything from me. I've done enough. God knows I've done enough. I've been a caretaker, helping people, giving to people, taking care of the elderly, taking care of every damn body since I was 17, 18 years old. And that is a lifetime. I'm not telling y'all my age, but that is a lifetime. And I'm done. I don't want to do that no more. I do want to do it. I'm not going to lie. I do want to do it, but I don't want to be expected to do it. And I think that's where a lot of women are today. So let me read this last part, and we'll talk about how we can fulfill that need without getting ourselves burdened down into doing something or feeling obligated by people. Find ways to meet the needs to cater or to give or to feed or live or be there emotionally for someone by volunteering, by giving to groups or feeding the homeless, or children's organizations. Um, there's so many ways to meet your own needs through others, um, especially if we had children and families. It's hard not to do that and not to still have that in us to want to give. Um, and to do what you've always done. But you don't, but you have to break out of that habit. That is the end of that. But to sum it up, like I say, many of we women who have been married, who have been in long-term relationships, who have children, and now you're single and you're wanting something new and you're ready to go travel and do the girlfriends things and all that kind of stuff. Don't think that those nurturing and loving and wanting to take care of people and take care of babies and take care of little children, whatever your forte is. Mine is the elderly. Mine has always been the elderly. I love children as well. And I have worked with many with children and teenagers too. And it's always been good, but the most of my years I've worked with the elderly. And I get it. You have to find your own forte, because I've had a lot of people tell me, oh well man, oh that's so good and that's so wonderful and somebody has to do it and such and such such, and I do have a heart and I love, but I just can't do the elder. Like I just can't, like I don't want to do that. And I'm like, do what you want to do. Work with single women, work with veterans, work with middle-aged people, work with young women, work with little children, work with babies, work with toddlers. You know, everybody has their whatever that they can do. So there are, especially right now, it is what we were at the end of September right now. The holidays are coming up. There are so many programs and organizations that's going to be looking for volunteers to help out families, to help even cook and to give to a lot of these homeless shelters and things, um, to organize, to read books, I mean, do you all know? And I'm gonna cut this video off for, here in a second, but do you all know that a few years ago I worked as an activities assistant in a nursing home, and this was in another state, and I, in doing my regular activities that I did to help out the activity director, there were a few things that I did on my own. And one of the things I did on my own was I just read to people. Like it was a lot of people in that nursing home who were still cognitive, who were still mentally there. Matter of fact, most of them people was mentally there because this wasn't like no Alzheimer dementia place. This was really just a regular old nursing home. So now that I think about it, most of these people were very cognitive, you know, and in actuality, also to throw it out there, this was one of my best experiences working in a nursing home. Those people were the most sweetest people ever in that little town. And this was Mississippi. This was Mississippi. Won't go into where and all this stuff, but a very small town in Mississippi. And these people were angels. They were absolutely fantastic. They really were. But anyway, I would go around and just read to people who were in the bed and who couldn't get out the bed or for whatever reason, whatever was going on with them. Do you know how fulfilling it was for them just to? I would read the Bible. I would read stories. I would read a lot of those chicken soup books and things like that. I would go and just sit and talk to them and just spend time. Like it don't take a lot, but at the same time you're getting your needs met, to care, give, to give, um and you're helping people and you're satisfying that need. And it doesn't always have to be given to a man. It really doesn't. Like it just doesn't. You don't have to wait in your single state for a man to come around so that you could do what it is you need to do. It's don't have to be that way. Okay. So you guys, if you want to share some of the things that you do or want to do or have done or whatever, and if you understand what I mean about just being a woman, and even though you don't want to be tied down to have to do those things, it's still in you to want to do it. And a lot of times also, it's very healthy for you to do those things for like an outside organization, or go to a hospital and see the little children who have cancer and read to them, or be there for them, or just give their parents a break. If you're in an organization or in a place or whatever where you have now been trusted and well examined, because I mean, you know, I wouldn't want nobody around my child who had no background check and all that. So I mean, there's you got to do certain things to get to that level. But just the fact of a mother or a dad or family members who have been at the hospital for days now right now, you can go in there and sit with them so that you can give the family a break. Let the parents, let the husband, let the spouse, let the somebody go, and you relieve them for a couple hours while they go and get something to eat and while they go home and take a shower or while they go take care of some business. And you can be that person to just go and sit in a hospital and volunteer. Go sit with some old people and just share coffee with them. Old people love giving stories. Old people love telling you about their life and their children and their memories and what happened back in such and such year. And I mean, and I that's one of the reasons, honestly, that I love working with the elderly is because I find the most fascinating stories, like seriously, some of the most fascinating stories ever, listening and just sitting and listening to old people, but they enjoy it. They love it. You know what I'm saying? And so many times in ways and opportunities that sometimes people, old, young, all of that, just want to have an ear. They just want somebody to be there and just listen. Some people just need to vent, and some people don't get to vent. So look for those things. Look for those programs and organizations. I'm going to turn the video off, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this made sense. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you'll take these tools that was given to me. I am certainly going to use this. I'm gonna keep going back to it and reminding myself of those things because we get off track sometimes. You know, and you guys hit that notification bell, please. Hit all notifications so that you'll know when I upload a video. No, I take my breaks and everything, but I'm always gonna come back. Leave me a comment, leave me a suggestion, however you want to do it. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for just being here with me. And until the next video, I'll see you next time.